Good morning and welcome to this week's episode of Choir Leader in a Kayak. Did you miss me last week? I missed you, but I really hope you enjoyed Harriet's guest appearance. I really loved that Harriet surprised us all and wrote a beautiful poem last week around what choir means to her, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you there every week, Harriet. So I'm back on the water. It is the most stunning day and I'm very privileged to be here. Just before I got on the water, literally 5 minutes ago, I was looking at the water and I was watching one of the geese paddling, and I noticed that he was really struggling actually. Even though the day looks perfect, the goose was really struggling to swim upstream. So I just thought I just must check my river app and see how fast the water's flowing, and indeed it is flowing incredibly fast. So looks can be deceptive, can't they? And Harriet's poem and episode last week touched on that. Never judge a book by its cover. People are often struggling much more than perhaps first would appear, especially during these strange times. Today's episode is all about things and words that begin with awe. So the first thing that begins with awe that hopefully has sprung to your mind is autumn. Beautiful season full of change, and change is hard, as we all know. It's a great season for looking at nature and trying to get outside before those darker winter nights draw in. I love autumn. My birthday's in the autumn, so perhaps I'm an autumn baby. Awe. So this thing that I paddle my boat with is not called an oar, it's called a paddle. So there we are, there's another little thing that begins with awe. But the main reason for thinking about this tiny few letters, or whether you spell them O-R, O-A-R, A-U, or A-W-E, awe. And what is a sense of awe? A sense of wonder, a sense of when you have that moment where you are so awestruck by beauty or sound or something you almost can't describe the feeling. It's greater than joy. It is awesome. Some people could even say it's orgasmic, but let's not go there. Otherwise this episode will be banned from YouTube. When we returned to choir 2 weeks ago for our in-person rehearsals, I had done so much preparation to hopefully create something as close to a normal choir rehearsal as I possibly could. And I've now done 4 choir rehearsals over the last 2 weeks, and they have literally been awesome. I almost can't describe that feeling when we made that first sound together. And even though I couldn't see people's smiles because they were all masked, I could sense this feeling of connection and gratitude and relief of being there. And I think that's probably what the feeling of awesome is like, isn't it? That feeling of wholeness and wow factor where you really can't put the feeling into words. It's just something that we sense. I'm not really explaining it very well, but as you know, I've never was particularly articulate, but I'll natter on and hopefully you'll get the gist. When we sang together, the sound was quite quiet and it was drifting in and out, and the space that we're in is huge. It's a huge church, so of course the sound all goes upwards and it kind of goes up towards heaven, and we can barely hear each other. We can actually hear the sound of our own voice more than anybody else's. So why is that any better than Zoom, you might ask? Well, just to feel that energy of people around us to make music with other human beings is something quite indescribable for me. So long may our in-person rehearsals continue. Long may we feel connected. And if you haven't managed to be there, because there were many who weren't there, and we missed you, we always miss you. And you know that whenever you are well, mentally or physically, You are always welcome back to our room to come and make music with us, and hopefully that awesome feeling will be one that is there for us to treasure and hold on to. And as those darker days approach, as the winter comes closer and closer, we can remember those moments where it truly was awesome. I won't say orgasmic. Oh, I said it. Bye. Lots of love.